A Consumer Protection Guide. Chapter 1. Consumer Protection 1. Avoid becoming a victim. The easiest way to not be a victim is do not be a traditional consumer who ties material stuff to happiness. I live a purposely materially simple life with few needs and few possessions. I don't look wealthy or flaunt my money or possessions. I don't drive through the ghetto with a big, bad car looking to get robbed. I don't buy many things so I don't get on many mailing lists. I live for spirit and action rather than material things. I got ripped off in real estate by being naive. I got ripped off at an electronics store where the guy lied to my face to get me to buy an overpriced gadget. Now we have the internet to do research. There used to be a book called The Consumer Bible that said women get ripped in car loans and real estate all the time. Don't allow yourself to be pushed into a hurried decision. No matter what you're told to the contrary, the reality is that at least 99% of everything that's a good deal today will still be a good deal a week from now, and the other 1% isn't generally worth the risk you'd be taking to find out. There may be times when you will want to make a prompt decision, but those occasions shouldn't involve an irrevocable financial commitment to purchase a product or make an investment that you're not familiar with from a caller that you don't know, and purchase decisions should never be made under pressure. Always request written information by mail about the product, service, investment, or charity, and about the organization that's offering it. For legitimate firms, this shouldn't be a problem. Swindlers, however, may not want to give you time for adequate consideration, may not have written material available, or may not want to risk a run-in with legal or regulatory authorities by putting fraudulent statements in writing. Also insist on having enough time to study any information provided before being contacted again or agreeing to meet with anyone in person. Some high-pressure telephone sales calls are solely for the purpose of persuading you to meet with an even higher-pressure salesperson in your home. Don't make any investment or purchase you don't fully understand. A beauty of the American economy is the diversity of investment vehicles and other products available, but it's a diversity that includes the bad as well as the good. Unless you fully understand what you'd be buying or investing, you can be badly burned. Swindlers intentionally seek out individuals who don't know what they are doing. They often attempt to flatter prospects into thinking they are making an informed decision. Ask what state or federal agencies the firm is regulated by and/or is required to be registered with, and if you get an answer, ask for a phone number or address that you can use to contact the agency and verify the answer yourself. If the firm says it's not subject to any regulation, you may want to increase your level of caution accordingly. Check out the company or organization. If you assume a firm wouldn't provide you with information, references, or regulatory contacts unless the information was accurate and reliable, that's precisely what swindlers want you to assume. They know that most people never bother to follow through. Look at it this way. Most victims of fraud contact a regulatory agency after they have lost their money. It's far better to make the contact and obtain whatever information is available while you still have your money. If an investment or major purchase is involved, request that information also be sent to your accountant, financial advisor, banker, or attorney for evaluation and an opinion. Swindlers don't want you to seek a second opinion. Their reluctance or evasiveness could be your tip-off. Ask what recourse you would have if you make a purchase and aren't satisfied. If there's a guarantee or refund provision, it's best to have it in writing and be satisfied that the business will stand behind its guarantee before you make a final financial commitment. Beware of testimonials that you may have no way of checking out. They may involve nothing more than someone being paid a fee to speak well of a product or service. Don't provide personal financial information over the phone unless you are absolutely certain the caller has a bona fide need to know. That goes especially for your credit card numbers and bank account information. The only time you should give anyone your credit card number is if you have decided to make a purchase and want to charge it. If someone says they will send a bill later but they need your credit card number in the meantime, be cautious and be certain you're dealing with a reputable company. If necessary, hang up. If you're simply not interested, if you become subject to high-pressure sales tactics, if you can't obtain the information you want or get evasive answers, or if you hear your own better judgment whispering that you may be making a serious mistake, just say goodbye. Tell them you want to be put on the non-contact list. If they call you back within a year, you can sue them in small claims court for $500. The FTC has passed a rule requiring all telemarketing companies to be licensed nationwide so you can check upon them before you buy. Be a good consumer, keeping track of your accounts and transactions. The easiest way to keep track of all your accounts and everything you buy is to get a shoebox, put it in a corner of your bedroom where there is not much traffic. Every time you buy something or get a bill, put them all in there. If you have credit cards, get a separate folder or envelope for that. Get a folder to put all your electric bills into. Keep a computer file for all my bank account numbers and passwords. Check your accounts occasionally to see that something strange has not happened, like all the money is drained out. It happens with identity theft. My bank sends me an email every time there is a withdrawal at a retail location I never used before. Consumer protection laws. Consumer protection laws are geared for three main things. Implied warranties: does the product do what it's supposed to do? Deceptive advertising, misleading claims. Packaging must not mislead consumer. Safety of the product. You can get the free Consumer Resource Handbook from the American federal government at pueblo.gsa.gov, 888-8 Pueblo. The main magazines are Consumer Reports, consumerreports.org, Consumer Guide, and Consumer Digest. GaleGroup.com, 800-877 Gale publish the Consumer Sourcebook and Consumer Product Manufacturer Ratings. Federal Trade Commission. Public Reference Section. 6th and Pennsylvania Avenue, NW. Number 130. Washington, D.C. 20580. 202-326-2222. ftc.gov. Many free booklets about all manner of consumer products. Try number 640 or TX335 at the library. Unfair trade practices. Beyond antitrust laws, there are state unfair competition laws such as aggressively trying to steal your competition's customers. A manufacturer or broker who tries to intimidate retailers to sell at a certain price under threat of withholding product or any other threat. Any false statements you make about your goods or services. Bait and switch selling, advertising a product for a low price, then when the customer arrives at the store, they say the product isn't available and try to sell him a higher priced or lower quality one. Bribery. Copying another business's trademark, trade dress, patents, copyrights, etc. Deception in promotional contests. Disparagement of a competitor's products. Entering the transaction with any manner of attempt to fool or defraud the consumer. Giving some customers or geographic areas lower prices than in other parts of the country. Invasion of privacy. Making false negative statements against a competitor's products. Making representations that are misleading or deceptive, including verbal statements or advertising. Misappropriation of intellectual property. Price discrimination. Putting too much undue pressure on the consumer to enter a transaction. Pyramid selling, signing up distributors, making most of your money from the fees you charge them. Rigging the bidding in an auction situation. Safety of product. Selling a product for the higher price if there are two price tags on it. Selling a product for above the advertised price. Taking advantage of the consumer's inability to understand the transaction. Use of exaggeration, innuendo, or ambiguity in selling your products. Many other laws depending on the state you live in. If a consumer enters an agreement where he or she was induced to do so by a representation that was an unfair practice, the agreement may be rescinded any time within 6 months after making the agreement, and the consumer is entitled to any remedy available through civil court, including damages. If you feel you've been the victim of an unfair trade practice, write a letter to the business concerned stating that you believe they committed some manner of fraud or deception on you which renders the contract void, and unless they settle with you by paying you back for the cost of the product, you will sue them in civil court for the cost of the product, damages caused to you plus punitive and exemplary damages. Furthermore, tell them you will circulate the story through the media unless they pay up. In Canada, the Federal Act is the Competition Act and most of the provinces have their own Unfair Business Practices Act. ftc.gov. usdoj.gov. Create a poison website. Lot of consumers have created websites against companies who wronged them where they post up what happened to them then leave a forum open for other dissatisfied customers to post up their battles with the company. Sometimes they all get together to file a class action lawsuit. Check out ripoffreport.com. Type the name of the company you're having a beef with into a search engine like this. Company X, sucks. Company X, fraud. Company X, ripoff. A common website name is companyxsucks.com. bigclassaction.com. Chapter 2. Consumer Protection 2. Rip-off info. People get ripped off nickel and dime style. Repair companies almost always inflate their labor costs. Some car repair companies say they replaced a part that they just soaked in kerosene and cleaned up. Hospital and medical bills are big rip-offs. When some of those furniture and car sales places advertise no money down, no payments for a year, they still want an upfront processing fee of $100 or so. Why does the optician store charge over $100 for his frames when you can buy reading glasses or sub-glasses at the drugstore for $5? Frames aren't much, just a piece of plastic or some metal. Ask for generic prescription drugs over the brand name. All brand name stuff is a rip. You're paying extra for the name. Shuttle buses from airports are often much cheaper than taxis. Some even go door to door. Some places charge a nickel for plastic bags. The orthotic solace that chiropractors and others prescribe are a big rip-off. All fat melting machines are a rip-off. Hospital billing, saving money. The way to save on hospital bills is to be aware of what you can save on before you go in and try to save on it. Don't be admitted on a weekend if the surgery is Monday because they'll charge you for room and board. Have your tests done before you enter either via your doctor or a separate facility. Don't let them do duplicate tests unless absolutely necessary. Bring all your own toiletries in a kit bag. They charge for everything. Leave as soon as possible. Keep a tab of drugs, tests, and procedures you get, then go over your bill with a fine-tooth comb. If they give you a short bill, ask for the itemized bill. The head of a watchdog group has reported that 97% of hospital bills are in error, mostly against the patient. The real deal about hospital billing is atrocious. Hospital staff treat you all nice and cutesy, but behind the scenes, the administration billing department will literally sock it to you in more cases than not. When you receive your bill, you usually just get a summary. Hospital administrators assume that most people are meek, ignorant, confused and conformist, and they'll just blindly accept it and pay it. Don't play this game. Ask for an itemized bill. If they're snotty with you, don't let them intimidate you. You are within your rights to demand an itemized bill. Look it over for ridiculous items and ambiguously worded items, demand clarification of what you don't understand, then dispute what you don't agree with. Keep a diary of what happens to you while in the hospital. For example, record all tests done, how many pills you took, etc. Ask your doctor for an explanation of any tests conducted, then dispute it if you feel so inclined. The most common errors are: when a regular treatment like respiratory therapy is discontinued, the bill often doesn't reflect this and just keeps adding a daily charge for its use. Drugs not used are often not deducted from the bill. Cancellation of lab tests are often not credited. Charge for a semi-private room when you were in a ward, etc. Doctor's charges for routine daily visits even when he wasn't in attendance. The markups are horrendous. I've heard of Q-tips for $5, a bar of soap for $20, a shoehorn for $20, a teddy bear which they called a comfort support device for $57, and a pacemaker which goes for $6,700 marked up to $14,000. It's called price gouging, and they do it all the time, up to 20 times markup over actual cost. If you're admitted at night, check the bill to see if you're charged for a full day. You have two choices: either fight them yourself by sending them letters of dispute and going in personally, or hire a professional hospital bill auditing service which will go over your bill, fight to get you savings and charge you 50% of whatever savings they find, which is better than nothing. There are several ways to possibly save on hospital bills. Basically, you try to compromise with them. Ask if they'll accept the insurance payment as full payment. Offer a lump sum of 50% of what you owe, or simply ask for a reduced fee. medicalcodingantbilling.com/mistake_avoid.hdm billadvocates.com 540-387-5870 Detecting counterfeit products. A counterfeit product is a product that has a label stating it was made by a company with good brand recognition, but it wasn't. It was made by a knockoff company who imitated the product on the outside down to the brand name. It's a trademark violation. Counterfeit products are often lower quality than the brand product. If you go on an auction website like eBay and you find low-priced brand name products, they could be counterfeits. If you're a major corporation selling a brand name product, chances are it's being counterfeited in an Asian country. It's your responsibility to keep tabs on what's going on with your product worldwide, simply because as far as crimes go, it's a low priority on a worldwide level. You could hire security people to go around to places like Hong Kong checking things out, then filing lawsuits based on world intellectual property laws, but the thing is, if you manage to shut one down, the next one will spring up just as fast. Generally, the small-time retailers can't be prosecuted, only the big-time manufacturers, but they can be ordered to remove their counterfeit products. Counterfeit factories are big business in China. Officially, the Chinese government is against counterfeiting, but personally, they love it because it creates jobs and helps the economy grow. Most counterfeits are relatively harmless in the grand scheme of things, except for counterfeit drugs, because a lot of counterfeit drugs are either fake, not the real thing, or could even be harmful to one's health. There have been a couple of batches of counterfeit drugs that have killed people, mostly poor people in Africa. An easy way to look for counterfeit copies of your product is do searches on the internet and look for unauthorized people selling your product. Individuals often buy counterfeit stuff in Asia, bring it back and sell it at a 400% profit on internet auctions. With the use of computer-aided design/CAD, counterfeiting is fairly easy. They can sell a $3,000 set of golf clubs for $275 and a pair of Nike clone sneakers for $10. Counterfeiting is illegal. Piracy is a little different from counterfeiting. With counterfeiting, you're creating a fake. With piracy, you're replicating the original intellectual property digitally, as with music, CDs, movies, and software. The replacement parts industry, as with car parts, is full of counterfeit products. bossbbb.org/counterfeit consumerreports.org/cro/money/shopping/shopping tips/counterfeit products 108 counterfeit.com.au ehow.com, how to avoid counterfeit products. wikihow.com/spot counterfeit products. gouging/nickel and diming/the small ripoff/hidden fees. Most nickel and dime fees are useless fees for nothing. Like there was one where the phone company gives you the phone, then charges a $5 monthly rental fee, but they don't call it a rental fee. It's got some technical sounding name. They didn't tell me I could have bought a phone. They just gave it to me but said nothing about paying a rental fee. Another one is a transfer fee. They charged me $100 to transfer money from a bank in Canada to a bank in the United States. This is one little blip on a computer that takes some operator less than a minute to do. They charge excessive late fees. They charge processing fees and what they call a collection fee, which is a fee you pay for giving them money. Price gouging is illegal. If you believe a company or an entire industry is doing it, report it to the State Attorney General Consumer Office. There are hidden fees in a lot of things, especially monthly services. They gouge a few bucks off you every month. Unless you check your bill item by item, you don't know. A lot of companies systematically intimidate people, adding interest and hidden fees in the hope you will pay up out of apathy, fear or self-consciousness about complaining, but if you stand up to their bullying tactics, they quickly back down because they don't want their fraudulent tactics revealed to a mainstream audience, which is why I always say when complaining, have you ever heard of ripoffreport.com? The government even hides new fees and taxes in obscure places where most people won't see it. Here are the most common hidden fees. Send me hidden fees you find. Banks, all kinds of stuff, ATM fees, overdraft protection for checks and credit/debit cards. Hotel, restaurants, service au pair gratuity fee. Air bookings, all kinds. There is even one where they charge you an extra $15 if you choose a seat rather than taking the first one they assign you. Cell phone and phone company. Text messaging. Cable TV and internet provider. 401(k) fees. Mutual fund fees. In some cities, there's a surcharge for paying a parking ticket by phone or online. Hospital and medical bills are big rip-offs. There is a hidden fee at some auctions called a buyer's premium, which is either a flat fee of about $10 or a percentage of the cost of the product. The buyer has to pay this over and above what he bid on the product. Watch out for all the hidden fees with mutual funds. I read an article by a former chairman of the SEC and he tore the mutual fund industry to bits as a bunch of scammers with their hidden fees. Banks have many hidden fees to screw the customer, like ATM fee. Fee to see a live teller. Fee if account is under a minimum balance. Check writing fee per check or monthly. Check printing fees. Withdrawal fees. Insufficient fund fee/overdraft protection. Most banks charge at least $20 for a bounced check. If you're close to bouncing a check but don't know the exact amount in your checking account, don't write the check. Either wait, use a credit card or pay cash for your purchase. Banks with overdraft protection will often give you the money you're withdrawing from an ATM machine even if you're short in your account for a $10 fee or so. It's another way for them to make easy money. On top of the person writing the bad check getting charged for it, the bank will also charge the business or person an extra fee who the check is made out to, who deposits it. These hassles cost the bank maybe $1 to correct the problem, yet they often make up to 40 times that, charging both the check writer and receiver a $20 fee each. If you default on paying the fees for a bounced check, the bank will close your account down, put your name in a database banks use similar to credit reporting agencies such that other banks will check it out and refuse you a new checking account for several years after. Plus the bank will hound you for the unpaid money, hire a collection agency and put your name in a CRA proclaiming you a credit risk. Secondly, debit cards have all kinds of hidden fees like ATM fees, a bounced check fee if you go over the amount of money in your account, a fee if the store vendor mistakenly debits your card too much and you have to get it straightened out. Check out the hidden fees in the mortgage contract before you sign for it. If they are too high, back out of it. Check on property taxes and closing costs, which are costs over and above the mortgage. You have to complain, not sheepishly with a glare in your eye that says they're a bunch of con artists, even if they're portraying themselves as big corporations. Read your bill line by line. They try to shroud their rip-off in terminology that looks like a tax. If you don't understand what the expense is on your bill, call them up and ask for a clear answer. Some will lie to you and say it's a tax fee. Call them or email them several times. If you get evidence of deception, find a class action lawsuit lawyer. Cramming fraud by companies. Big companies like credit card and phone companies add fees onto the bill in cryptic language that doesn't mean anything. Inspect every line on your bill. Dispute any funny-looking charge immediately. What they do to try to dissuade you is that they have a toll-free number where they give the runaround at different call centers, but be persistent. When you catch them, they sheepishly immediately take it off without hassling you, which they would do if it was a legitimate charge. Try the name of the charge in a search engine along with the company name, like Credit Modification Fee XYZ Phone Company. Usually other people are already onto it. Look around the consumer websites like bbb.org. Gouging websites / nickel and dimed websites. Nerdwallet.com. Blogs.cron.com/consumerwatch. blogs.mercurynews.com/consumeracti online, citizen.org, citizenworks.org, commondreams.org, read some articles, complaintsboard.com, consumer.georgia.gov, price gouging, consumeraffairs.com, gouging, consumeraffairs.com, consumerfed.org, consumerist.com. Chapter 3. Consumer Protection 3. Credit repair fraud/credit repair scams. No credit repair company or credit repair lawyer has any magical techniques to increase your FICO score. Credit repair services can only do for you what you can do for yourself, because there are no hidden secrets that special people are privy to. There is only so much you can do legally, and it's all very basic info available for free all over the place. According to the FTC, there's not one legitimate credit repair company out there. The best anyone can do is help you get errors taken off. Go to ftc.gov and usdoj.gov for more information. Credit repair scams are all fake. All they do is send you a list of places where you can get a secured credit card. You can do the best you can do with the information in this book. You might see or hear ads from companies that promise to clean up or erase your bad credit and give you a fresh start. They charge high fees, usually hundreds of dollars, but do not deliver on their promises. If you are thinking of paying someone to repair your credit, remember this: negative credit information can be reported for 7 years, 10 years for a bankruptcy. If it's not removed after these time periods, it's your right to ask the credit reporting companies to remove them. Credit card companies can report your entire credit record to anyone inquiring about credit valued at $50,000 or more. No one can require a credit bureau to remove accurate negative information before that period is up. There are no loopholes or laws that credit repair companies can use to get correct information off your credit report. No credit repair company can do anything you can't do for yourself. A money-back guarantee does you no good if the company has gone out of business or refuses to make good on its refund promise. The only way to repair bad credit is by good credit practices over a period of time. Some credit repair companies promise not just to clean up your existing credit record but to help you establish a whole new credit identity. Remember, it is illegal to make false statements on a credit application or to misrepresent your social security number. If you use such methods, you could face fines or even prison. Beware of any company or method that encourages you to omit or lie about bad credit experience when you apply for new credit, tells you to use a new name or address or a new number, for example, an employer identification number, EIN, in place of your social security number in applying for credit, or says it is legal to establish a new credit identity. If positive things happen to you, like an increase in income, better payment history, winning the lottery, etc., you might try contacting your creditors and credit reporting agency to help you improve your credit report. If you see something negative on your credit report, it's your right to dispute it and they must investigate it. Sometimes, simply by asking for this investigation, you can get the negative things taken off your record because the creditor has either lost or disposed of your file, or they can't be bothered writing up a report. There is no limit to how many disputed billings you can request, so you can just keep requesting them until they go off your record. You can then request the names and addressees of all the negative reports on your credit history, contact them personally and agree to pay a reduced amount if they will remove the bill from your credit report. One controversial method to clean up your credit is to simply change a few numbers in your SSN, a few initials in your address, and you can start fresh. Some lawyers have even started such secondary credit files for people. The strength of the concept is that there are so many credit files in this country that it's easy for a few to slip through the cracks uncontested. One way is simply to get a mail drop, set up a new address for yourself and go out and start a new credit history. You can also legally change your name or develop an entire new identity. Get the free catalog from EdenPress.com, 800-338-8484 for some interesting credit books. Books about credit repair are at number 332.024 or HG 3752.5 at thelibrary.fraud.org, 800-876-7060, Info about credit repairs schemes, which are all scams because there is only so much you can do legally and it's all very basic info available for free all over the place. Credit card fraud resources. If you suspect credit card fraud or you think someone has been using your credit report to obtain loans, contact these fraud lines. Equifax 800-685-1111. Experian 888-397-3142. TransUnion 800-888-4213. File a credit fraud report with your local police. If they are not interested, contact your state police. If you still have trouble getting service, complain to your state attorney general's office. NAJI.org, a list of offices of state attorneys general. Contact creditors immediately in writing to close all compromised accounts. Change all passwords. You can file an online complaint at ftc.gov. cfa.org. Read about disreputable credit repair scams. fraud.org/tips/internet/creditrepair.htm, tips for avoiding credit repair scams. 800-876-7060.ftc.gov/bcp/conlany/pub/credit/repair.htm, self-help may be best.yourcreditcardcompanies.com /for-consumers/fraud.asp International Association of Financial Crimes Investigators 415884-6600 ifci.org Discover Card Fraud 800-347.3102 MasterCard Fraud 800-231-1750 Visa Fraud 800-367-8472. Telemarketing nuisance and fraud. The main points of the telemarketing sales rule are: it is illegal for a telemarketer to call you if you have said you don't want to be called. Calling times are restricted to the hours between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. Telemarketers must tell you it's a sales call, the name of the seller and what they are selling. Stay away from telemarketers who want to send a courier service for your money, have you send money by wire, automatically withdraw money from your checking account, offer you a free prize but charge handling and shipping fees, ask for your credit card number, checking or savings account number, social security number or other personal information and get payment in advance, especially for employment referrals, credit repair, or providing a loan or credit card. The oldest advice around is still the best. An offer that sounds too good to be true probably is. Having said this, however, you should be aware that some phone swindlers are becoming more sophisticated. They may make statements that sound just reasonable enough to keep you from hanging up. Or they may make 3 or 4 statements you know to be true so that when they spring the big lie for what they're selling, you will be more likely to believe that, too. Beware of high-pressure sales tactics. The call may not begin that way, but if the swindler senses you're not going to be an easy sale, he or she may shift to a hard sell. This is in contrast to legitimate businesses, most of which respect an individual's right to be not interested. High-pressure sales tactics take a variety of forms, but the common denominator is usually a stubborn reluctance to accept no as an answer. Some callers may resort to insult and argument, questioning the prospect's intelligence or ability to make a decision, often ending with a warning that you're going to be very sorry if you don't do such and such. Or, you will never get rich if you don't take a chance. Beware of insistence on an immediate decision. If it's an investment, the caller may say something like, "The market is starting to move even as we talk." For a product or service, the urgency pitch may be that there are only a few left or the offer is about to expire. The bottom line is that swindlers often insist that you should, or must, make your decision right now, and they always give a reason. Don't give your credit card number, checking account number or other personal information to a telemarketer unless you are familiar with the company or organization and the information is necessary in order to make your purchase. Some states have telemarketing laws that require written contracts, automatic cancellation periods, or registration of telemarketing companies. Contact your state or local consumer protection agency. Federal telephone order rules require companies that take consumers' orders by phone, computer, or fax to Ship the merchandise within 30 days of receiving a completed order or within a different time frame if it is stated in their ads. Notify consumers if shipment can't be made on time and give them the choice of waiting longer or receiving refunds. Cancel their orders and return their money, or give them credits on their charge accounts, if the revised shipping date can't be met, unless the consumers agree to another delay. You have the right under federal law to tell a company not to call you by phone or not to contact you in writing. The company must keep a list of these consumers and not contact them. Keep a record for your file. Not to get calls before 8 a.m. or after 9 p.m. Not to receive unsolicited ads by fax. To be disconnected from a pre-recorded machine-delivered message within 5 seconds of hanging up. Some states and the federal government do not allow telemarketers to call people who do not want to receive calls. Contact your state or local consumer protection agency to check your state's rights. To reduce telephone calls you do not want, you can sign up with the free telephone preference service operated by the Direct Marketing Association, a private trade group. Telephone Preference Service. epub 9014. Farmingdale, New York 11735. To report violations of the telephone order rule, contact the Federal Trade Commission. If you made the telephone transaction in response to a postcard or other mailing, contact the U.S. Postal Inspection Service, postalinspectors.usps.gov. Some telephone sales calls are made by legitimate businesses offering legitimate products or services, but wherever honest firms search for new customers, so do swindlers. Phone fraud is a multi-billion-dollar business that involves selling everything from bad or non-existent investments to the peddling of misrepresented products and services. Everyone who has a phone is a prospect. Whether you become a victim is largely up to you. There is no way to positively determine whether a sales call is on the up and up simply by talking with someone on the phone. No matter what questions you ask or how many you ask, skilled swindlers have ready answers. That's why sales calls from persons or organizations that are unknown to you should always be checked out before you actually buy or invest. Legitimate callers have nothing to hide. Phone swindlers are likely to know more about you than you know about them. Depending on where they got your name in the first place, they may know your age and income, health and hobbies, occupation and marital status, education, the home you live in, what magazines you read, and whether you have bought by phone in the past. A swindler may ask you for your credit card number or, in the most brash cases, several credit card numbers for identification or verification that you have won something, or merely as an expression of good faith on your part. Whatever the ploy, once a swindler has your card number, it is likely that unauthorized charges will appear on your account. An offer to send someone to your home or office to pick up the money, or some other method such as overnight mail to get your funds more quickly. This is likely to be part of their urgency pitch. It could be an effort to avoid mail fraud charges by bypassing postal authorities, or simply a way of getting your money before you change your mind. While honest firms may promote free phone offers to attract customers, the difference with swindlers is that you generally have to pay in some way to get whatever it is that's free. The cost may be labeled as a handling or shipping charge, or as payment for an item in addition to the price. Whatever you receive free, if anything, most likely will be worth much less than what you have paid. Except for obligations of the U.S. government, all investments have some degree of risk, and if there were any such thing as a risk-free investment with big profits assured, the caller certainly wouldn't have to dial through the phone book to find investors. Unwillingness to provide written information or references, such as a bank or names of satisfied customers in your area, that you can contact. Swindlers generally have a long list of reasons. There isn't time for that, or it's a brand new offer and printed material isn't available yet, or customer references would violate someone's privacy. Even with references, be cautious. Some swindlers pay off a few customers to serve as references. A suggestion that you should make a purchase or investment on the basis of trust. Trust is a laudable trait, but it shouldn't be dispensed indiscriminately, certainly not to unknown persons calling on the phone and asking that you send them money. Even so, trust me is a pitch that swindlers sometimes employ when all else fails. Telemarketing.donotcall.gov ftc.gov/bcp/conlani/edcam/telemarketing/index.html the.dma.org/telemarketing Senior fraud/senior scam aging.sc.gov/scams aplsfrmom.com/senior-care-resources/articles/senior-fraud-prevention